Hey Adam, I wish it was Halloween.
Why do you wish it was Halloween?
So you could wear a mask so I don't have to look at your face. Roll the intro music.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of As the Buckle Turns. I'm Adam.
I'm Tim and I have food in my mouth.
Why did you decide to eat then?
Because I thought we were going to be at least a minute.
We're
before
never,
you
it's
introduced
never
us.
that long. It's just long enough so I can take a little break between your terrible open and when we do the opening.
It feels like an hour goes by.
Well, yeah, the show is about an hour long. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got a bunch of news. We sadly do not have the New Japan World Tag League Finals predictions because other than one match, we don't really know what's going on with that card right now, even though I did hear a rumor that the Young Bucks will be on the show. I heard that through the Young Bucks themselves.
Through the Young Bucks.
They're like, yep, we're going to be there for the show. And it's just like, well, are you going to be performing? Are you just going to be there? What's going on? Yes, you still have the Predictions Championship belt right now. It doesn't matter anymore.
That's just kind of weird that you didn't mention it yet.
Yeah, I acknowledged it. Whatever. We do have to say goodbye to two retired professional wrestlers. Tommy, the Dynamite Kid Billington, passed away on December 5th. Oddly enough, his birthday. And Larry the Axe Hennig passed away on December 6th. You might know the last name Hennig from Curtis Axel. You know, that guy.
Yep. Yeah.
And Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Yep. How old was Larry the Axe? Do you know?
I did not specifically check that out. I believe it was 82, maybe 85 years old. You know,
82 years old.
82.
Yep. So he had a full life. I mean, Dynamite Kid at 60.
60. I swear to God,
So-
Hart, anyone related to the Hart family, there is a curse upon their family.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, one of the things is like he's been in a wheelchair for years, though.
Right.
So I'm not necessarily surprised that he passed away earlier, but still, that's. I never watched any of his stuff, so I have no clue.
That was part of the generation that I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Like, I really wish I had been watching in the early 90s through the mid 90s, because there were some great things that happened during that period, you know, but that was before before I even really got into it.
But I mean, he was wrestling long before that too, because Chris Benoit has said that the Dynamite Kid was a huge influence on him.
Right.
I'm sorry, Superstar's name redacted.
Yes, he does not exist. He is not part of any program. The WWE have gone so far as to, I forget which match it is, but there's one of his matches that they have said that The Rock defends his championship, and that's
Yes.
it. Not against who it is, but just that. I mean, the match is still on the card, and you can still watch it, but like the description just does not even say his name.
Yep. It was I think it was 99. I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of funny. But do send out a shout out to the families, hoping that they had in this hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Have our condolences for that.
Yeah.
And well, we'll probably see. I've actually been seeing a lot on a lot of YouTube channels for wrestling, putting up a little thing for all of them. So, which is nice.
Yeah.
So,
All right, let's move on to something a little bit better. WWE's lowest rate. Oh wait, sorry.
hold on.
What?
I'm in a mood to bitch. So this better be something I can bitch about.
Yes, it is. Well, I mean, you might
Yes.
also be celebrating. This week was WWE's lowest ratings ever for both shows. Like,
Damn.
Raw hit, what was it, 2.6? Just a 2.6 million people watched Raw. And SmackDown hit, sadly, its lowest ever at 1.9. That's so horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, really? Really?
Yeah.
Did Vince get frustrated again and
No,
write
sorry.
both shows this week?
I screwed up the numbers. Raw was 2.3 or 2.2. Not 2.6. Last week was like a 2.6. Which means that they lost like 300,000 viewers in a week.
Yeah. I don't know how they do that. Especially when it comes from, at one point, they were getting 7.03 out.
Okay, how long ago was that though?
That was the Higher Power episode during the Attitude Era.
Now, there is a moment where you have to realize that people do get their content differently now. Like,
Yes.
but at the same time, there shouldn't be that much of a drop off. Like, even shows that are highly torrented and seen in different manners, like, are still able to turn out, an 8. I mean, yes, for wrestling, and their peak was a 7. But that means that even in the lower times, they should be hitting a 3, 4, maybe a really good segment at a 5.
Okay, so their max highest ever quarter hour, was a poll of 7.13 rating
Wow.
for a quarter hour. Not for a full show, but a quarter hour. So, yeah, I mean,
You're not really drawing
yes, we
fans
do-
to watch you live anymore.
that's the thing. Like, yes, people get their media different, but here's the thing: live shows don't really change that much. Yes, I mean, like sports, because they have so many sports apps and stuff like that you can get nowadays.
Right.
Yes, but like wrestling, if you have a good show, it should be getting at least a 4.
It should be.
But
See, it goes back to, once again, I'm blaming creative on getting lazy. They should be able to churn out stories that draw people to wanting to watch the weekly program.
I'm not gonna put it on. I'm not putting it on creative. I'm putting it on Vince, because the creative could, for all we know, could be giving really great ideas.
Yeah.
And Vince is like, nah,
No.
nope. It's like, and I'm pretty sure that's probably what happened on Raw last week, and maybe this week, where he said like, I don't like any of your ideas. I got it.
We're doing it this way.
Yep. And he just wrote the show, and it's just like,
And the problem is, like, SmackDown is receiving, because it follows in the week, it's if you hear that Raw is terrible on Monday, are you really
Yep.
going to watch SmackDown on Tuesday? So it gets a fall off because of that.
yeah. So there's no reason for such a low rating.
No.
Especially from everything I heard, SmackDown was a really good show this week too.
Yes, it was.
We had Becky coming out and putting everyone down. We had Charlotte basically continue to be a heel finally
Right.
after the blotch of Survivor Series.
Yes.
Asuka reminded Becky that she's never beaten her. Charlotte reminded Asuka she beat her in the worst decision ever.
Oh, and
And so-
we had a signing without a brawl breaking out.
I know. except for unless you call Absolution coming down to challenge for a tag match, and then
doesn't
leading
count.
to a
Doesn't
leading
count.
to a tag match.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. Normally, it's a brawl between the two or three people that are going to be in the match. And I mean, seriously, as Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic said, grab 2 of each animals and head for the bastard border.
I mean, we do know that Becky is not cleared for wrestle yet. It's not from a concussion. It is from the nasal of breaking her nose.
Right, her nasal cavities haven't either drained or they're not completely healed yet.
From what it sounded like, they're not completely healed yet. But they're expecting her to be cleared in the next 10 days or so she should be able to make TLC, which is good. But then you have mega heat Daniel Bryan here.
Which, by the way, his entire being a heel is absolutely brilliant because everything that he says is actually things that can be done to, one, help the environment and live better as a person as well. It's almost like when CM Punk went off on the straight edge stuff. And he was like, no, these are things you can do to be better. And everyone's like, stop being a heel. And he has a valid point. Like, once again, you have a heel, a champion heel, who has a valid point.
Not just a valid point, but he's doing it in a way just enough where it's not coming off like, maybe I should think about it. No, he's being a dick about it, so we don't like him.
Exactly.
On Wrestle Talk, was watching there after the cameras went dark and all that. They had the dark match. Bryan defended against The Miz, and he picked on a kid who was celebrating his birthday.
Oh.
Called him, let him know, like, you can know that on your birthday you were told you were an idiot. People were singing happy birthday to the kid, and all of a sudden Zayn just like, no, don't sing happy birthday to him. Like, and he got, like, it's like a video. So he gets really, really loud. It's just like,
oh my God, that's awesome.
He's embracing it, and boy, there's some spikes on my audio.
But yeah, so I'm really
there's some really good
also,
stuff going on SmackDown, but I don't know. There's probably it had to be like people thought how bad Raw was, so they're like,
yeah,
I'm staying away from SmackDown.
It does happen every time that Raw's ratings have dipped. SmackDown's have followed. And SmackDown, on average, has always had lower ratings than Raw anyway.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this further brand split, this network split, will actually cause a further division between the two brands. Therefore, it can show that SmackDown is your better show going forward.
Yeah, definitely. All right, what's next on there?
Talking about heat, we're going from Daniel Bryan's heat. Nia Jax seems to have even more heat in the backstage. Well, not necessarily backstage, but does seem that Ember Moon's husband is not happy with her at all.
Yeah, he said, like, I can't remember what, but he sent a message out saying, like, hope he doesn't hurt his wife or something like that.
I think it was a Twitter message, and it was basically like, hey, this woman is just running around and has no idea what she's actually doing. Why do you keep putting her in matches at that level?
Yeah, it's just...
And he also said that she better not hurt Ember.
Yep. Yeah, man, they just need to stop with Nia. Just, I've always said it. Release her. I'm done with her being there. No performance center. None of that. Release her. Let her go on the indies if she wants to wrestle. And when she hurts people there, they'll stop booking her instantly.
Exactly. Now, at the same time, I
So,
do
but-
think that she should be given the chance to go back to the Performance Center and work things there, and then move her to NXT.
No, I'm done with her. And I think they're gonna probably be done with her too, because in the tag match with Ember and Ronda this week, it was Tamina who tapped out to Rousey, giving
Okay.
that team a loss. So I think it's going to be one of those things which is going to be, by the time TLC's done with,
She'll
if
be
there's actually backstage heat on Nia, it's gone. She'll be died down.
okay.
Bad if she hurts someone in again, she's done.
All right. I mean,
think, but
no-
hopefully she won't. But
yeah. Well, let's move on to the to two of her last two victims. Yeah, we already we went over Becky coming
yeah.
back, right?
Oh, side note: when Ember Moon got married to her husband about a month or two ago, they had a Game of Thrones style wedding.
Nice. Oh yeah, I saw that. That was awesome. But yes, let's move on to Alexa Bliss, who is recovering as well.
Yes.
Uh,
She's not 100% cleared that Mark Henry, for some reason, said she was.
Yeah, I don't know why Mark Henry's saying anything. Does he work at
His
the
math
Performance
is-
Center?
Yeah, his math is bad. It's almost as bad as Scott Steiner's.
He's got about a 33 and 2/3 chance of getting a 73% chance of getting it right. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, I saw that segment with Steiner once. I was like, none of this math works.
Wrestle Talk loves to butcher Steiner for that. But yeah, she's down at the Performance Center and she's taking light bumps in the ring that's basically a trampoline with ropes.
Yeah, it's the High Flyers ring.
Yes. Also known as the crash pad. It's actually made up of the pads used in Hollywood for movies, for stunts and all that. Mm-hmm. So, but like it gives this a ring where they can practice their high flying moves so they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
So she's taking bumps there, and being watched by trainers to see how she's doing. But so they're working towards her coming back to the ring, which is hopefully she will.
It's a great thing.
I don't want them to rush it because she's had so many concussions so quickly together. Thank you, Nia.
Yep.
And we gotta point out though, Nia was not responsible for all of them though.
No, not all of them.
So
But wasn't she
but
responsible
was-
for the last one?
Yeah,
So-
right after the one before. So she's taking it easy. Hopefully she'll get cleared eventually. But take the time, especially since they have a role for her on Raw, and they can really just kind of use her on TV. She can come to the Performance Centers during the weeks to train, get back on all that, but don't rush it, Alexa.
No,
We
take your
want you to be
time.
around for many more years.
Yes.
Um,
I don't want to see people being injured and their careers being cut short.
Yeah, we don't want to see that. So we definitely want you to take your time, especially since you're only like 25.
Really? Only 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, she really needs to get through this and definitely have a comeback. Actually, at 25, go ahead and take as much time as you need to make, because when you do return, that pop is going to be nuclear.
I don't think it
melt
will be.
faces 20 miles away.
It won't be nuclear because she's on TV still. Now, however, to see the smoke.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But it would be nuclear if in the Women's Royal Rumble,
Right.
like, no one's expecting her to be in it, and her music goes off, that would be nuclear.
Well, I'm saying if she needs to take 2 or 3 years to get this thing completely taken care of,
Oh yeah, but I don't think it's going to take that long. But
I hope it doesn't have to go that long. But if it
Yeah.
needs to, go for it.
Oh yes, but I don't think it will. I think, because she hasn't had as many concussions like Daniel Bryan did.
Yeah.
It was just consecutive, so close together. That's why they're being so cautious of it,
Oh.
which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's a really good thing.
Because especially when she's one of their top stars.
Just a little
and
bit.
I can't say I'm surprised that something happened. Not necessarily a concussion, but she hadn't get injured other ways, because she's been, since she won the SmackDown Championship and then moved to Raw, she's been running hard all the time.
Yeah.
So it's about time that kind of probably caught up to her.
Yeah.
So, but again, Alexa, get well. We look forward to seeing you back in the ring, but take your time.
Yes. And there does seem to be the possibility, once staying on the theme of women's wrestling, that there's going to be a return of a classic pay-per-view, but in the immortal words of M. Night Shyamalan, with a twist.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes, exactly, him.
Okay.
Turns out that WWE is eyeing creating basically a second all women's pay-per-view called Queen of the Ring.
Yes.
I
They're
think-
just throwing it around right now.
I mean, at the same time, I think it's a genius move.
I'm okay with it if they actually use it like they used to do with the King of the Ring, and actually make it mean something.
The winner actually gets a shot at the women's championship. I kind of feel that should be, it's a number one contenders tournament.
I don't necessarily care about that much. Here's what I want. Adam, how many people who've won the King of the Ring went on to win a world title? Do you know?
Not many.
Actually, quite a few.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't like that's their next step. It was like
No,
there was a little bit more.
But that's what I mean. Use it as a stepping stone for someone up and coming to launch them. Not necessarily right into the title picture, but saying you're going to eventually win, kind of like the Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Maybe if they do the all women's pay-per-view Queen of Ring in April.
Yep.
Not this year they win the Money in the Bank, but the following year they win the Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Assuming they use it to launch them, push them heavily into storylines. If they actually can have multiple women's storylines.
Yeah.
And then you build to either the Royal Rumble or the Money in the Bank the following year.
All right.
But I have a feeling they won't, and it'll just be like another crown jewel. I'm sorry, name redacted, best in the world tournament.
Yes. World's greatest Royal Rumble, that type of thing. I have an idea to kind of legitimize it, and there's there's over 16 women on the both rosters.
It's about 20, I think.
Okay. You take 16 of them, and over a couple of weeks, you whittle that down to 8. Be it 2 weeks. That way you have 4 matches on Raw, 4 matches on SmackDown, 4 matches on the next week Raw, and then the next SmackDown. And then those 4 matches are the opening of your pay-per-view. Then you have the semifinal on the pay-per-view. Then you have the final. That way you're not running into the issue of the last, near the end, what was it? A couple of the King of the Rings ran into that issue where they were trying to fit like 12 to 16 matches into a 3-hour show. And I'm like, no, 7 matches works a whole lot better. But you have the other, 8 matches spread out over 2 weeks on the other shows.
So 6 of the matches are the tournament, and then 2 matches. You could have 2-3 matches that are not for the tournament, and there you go.
Yeah, then you've got a 10-match card.
Yeah.
You know, that way, yes, WWE does love having that double digits for their cards. But
But they can do it.
you do also have, you know, you can also build kind of not drama, but a build for the pay-per-view itself by having those matches on the free show early on.
But see, the thing is, that I have no doubt in my mind they would blotch the push
yeah.
for it because they did this last one. But
Oh, of course they would.
all right, let's move on to the next thing.
All right, next up, we have another rumor, and it is the greatest rumor that has ever happened. Finally, actually, I can't even say it that way. The rumor is that The Rock is going to be the big name, or the headliner, if you will, for the 2019 Hall of Fame class.
It's about time.
Yes. Kind of a funny thing, 2009 was Stone Cold. Was Austin.
Yeah.
So 10 years later, we get The Rock.
It's all depends on his work schedule. If they can shoehorn him in for 2 nights.
Well, I mean, not necessarily 2 nights, but I mean that. So they changed the format for WrestleMania weekend. I don't know if you caught that. NXT is going to be on Friday night. The Hall of Fame is on Saturday night. And then,
that's what I said, 2 nights.
Yeah, and then Sunday is WrestleMania. So, I mean, you could get him for a Saturday and Sunday, and then right after his appearance, he's off to go back to work with whatever project he's on at that time.
Something tells me The Rock is, if he's in the Hall of Fame, does it this year, he's not going to rush out the door.
No. He might show up on Raw and or SmackDown. Oh, man, you know that he would show up on Raw and SmackDown.
Probably. I mean, like, he'll probably say, like, okay, I'm going to be doing these things at this time, or I'll just do Raw and then I'll be off. But, like, but who knows? Time will tell. They usually make the first announcement around Royal Rumble.
It's about a week or 2 after the
Sometimes they do it sooner.
Yeah. But those are the years that they've had a large class going in. But yeah, last year the first announcement was a week or so after the Rumble.
I would do it if you're going to announce it. I would announce it at the Rumble.
Yes. Especially for a name that big.
And here's the thing, if he can be cleared,
yeah.
Have him show up in the Rumble.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Have him win the Rumble. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, that was a potential idea
for this year's
Rumble. That's when Roman Reigns was going to be the Universal Champion still.
Yes, and The Rock was going to take the belt off from him for a short period of time, go to the greatest Royal Rumble, wrestle there.
Nope.
Well, there was also rumors of that happening.
Oh, yeah, but, like, no, the last thing I heard was, like, no, it was mostly just designed to have cousins go at it so The Rock could once again put Roman Reigns over and get booed out of the building.
Yeah, that he would have. It would have been a terrible ending to the show. Yeah, and then, I've got... But, I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see who else we can get on this card for the Hall of Fame. Owen Hart. Let's put Owen Hart into the Hall of Fame already.
It's his wife who's stopping it.
Come on, WWE. You were able to mend fences with the Warrior, the craziest man on the planet.
But her biggest problem with WWE is they want to use it to make money. That's what her biggest problem is. She doesn't want them doing that. So she won't let them put him into the Hall of Fame. I mean,
she should just be like, I get a cut then.
Yeah.
I know that she's like, I don't want them to use my husband's memory as a marketing tool. But he's a
Yeah.
professional wrestler. That's exactly what wrestling does.
Yes.
It's like you can sit there and tell me that you don't want that to happen, but no matter what, unless you commit a double murder suicide, they're gonna try to use any type of tragic and any wrestling tragedy in their favor.
Hey, that got name redacted. That was a setup, like Kevin Sullivan.
Oh God, it was Kevin Dunn. His right tooth. That tooth
Wow.
is angry now. It wants revenge. For what? I don't know. It's because the left tooth didn't get to sleep with Chris Benoit. All right.
Wow. We haven't talked about Kevin Dunn's teeth in a while.
I know. That finally came back up again. All right. We got one more thing before we move on to a prediction. And actually, I like how what this is going to be, and
No.
I'm looking forward to it so much.
Do the prediction first.
Oh, all
and then
right.
we'll move in.
All right, so we only know of one actual match that's happening at the World Tag League final. It's the final show of the World Tag League. The final.
Hold on.
Yeah,
We only know who's in the matches
Right.
for one of the matches. We know of two matches. We just don't know who's in the other match.
yeah. As we said last week, we know there's two matches on this card, but we don't know who else is part of this card.
Yes. So we're gonna predict. This does not count as predictions. We're just gonna see if we can guess.
Exactly.
If Kota Ibushi will capture the Never Openweight Championship.
Yes, he is challenging Hiroki Goto for Goto's belt. Yeah, that's right,
Yep.
WWE. It's a championship belt or a strap. It's not a trophy.
Okay, Adam, you go first.
I
Who's gonna win?
don't know. I really,
Goto
really-
just won it too.
Yeah, I know. As much as I want Ibushi to be the one that gets it, and I don't know. I really do. I think Goto's going to retain.
You think Goto's gonna retain?
Yeah, I do.
You know what? Screw it. This doesn't count against me. I'm gonna go Kota Ibushi.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because one thing, like I think it was last year's Wrestle Kingdom,
Yeah,
but it could have been a different Wrestle Kingdom's 12s. But the Never Openweight Championship changed hands, and then immediately changed hands the next night.
yeah. It does seem like it's kind of the belt that they allow to change hands relatively quickly.
Yes, which I'm okay with. I think there should, if you have a lot of talent that's good for that, having belts change hands consistently is not a bad thing.
No.
It's just how you execute it.
Right, right. Like, I kind of feel that every promotion needs to have that one championship that you can move around to new people and be like, okay, well, we're now thinking, it's the stepping stone championship. It's just like, hey, we think that you could hold a championship at some point, but we're going to put this one on you now and see how the fans to react to you being a champion of something.
Yes. I mean, what you don't want to do is what WWE did with the Intercontinental Championship during the Attitude Era, where it changed practically every fucking week.
Or the hardcore championship, where sometimes it changed per the minute.
I love that part, though. See, that fit the gimmick of the belt.
Exactly.
It was when you had the Godfather's hoe, a broom,
Yep.
capturing the
Yeah,
championship.
those things. That's where it gets
That was-
ridiculous.
Okay, I will say this: the broom thing, that's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. But at the same time,
It's ridiculous
No.
and hilarious at the same time.
yes.
But
But when you have like a hardcore championship, it's fine.
Yeah,
Now if that was
exactly.
like the Intercontinental Championship, Really? Really?
Yeah.
But it was so.
But I kind of feel that the Hardcore Championship could have been a slightly more prestigious belt if there was, like, if it was only up for grabs while during, you know, like you had to challenge somebody. And it could only be done in the ring, but it's hardcore, so it could happen anywhere. Yeah, it still gets weird. Still gets weird. They could have written it better, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Despite the fact that half the times they want to try to do the 24/7 rule was chasing Crash through a kid's playground at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's stuff like that that I'm like, no, we don't do that, guys.
The first few times, yes, that's fine because it's kind of hilarious, something new, and you're getting over this 24/7 rule. But when you're doing it like 3 years later, still.
Exactly. See,
why is like Steve Blackman at a restaurant with a children's playground?
Yeah,
or something like that. Crash Holly worked for, but not everyone else.
What I would like to see with that, you know, a belt can change at any type format, is that it actually does change at house shows.
Mm-hmm.
So like on, we'll say at Raw, it's you know, wrestler A that has it, and by the very next week on Raw again, it's somebody else. And you go online and you actually have to check out house shows to be like, oh, this belt can change at house shows. Like, it's not going to be a weird thing to see that this belt is going to be defended at every house show.
I actually think that it did happen at times. Yeah, it did. It changed hands multiple times.
Oh, good.
Okay, so here's an example. On February 10th, 2001, Hardcore Holly became the champion. It was his 5th reign. He dropped it to Raven that same night. He picked it back up the next night. Al Snow won it. Raven won it the same night. Steve Blackman won it at the next house show, dropped it to Raven at the same house show. Steve Blackman picked it up the night after that at a house show. Raven captured it the same night again at the house show. And then Billy Gunn won it at No Way Out a few days later.
Wow. See, that's kind of how I would like to see, you know, if the WWE would introduce a new belt like that. I'm not necessarily saying, you know, the Hardcore Championship, but it's a 24/7 or every show belt. If the champion is part of that brand, and it can change brands too.
Yeah, I was scrolling through the list here. There's a lot of house shows that it changed hands at.
Yeah, I would like to see it, you know, it's part of every single card. Like, you don't know
Here's the thing.
who else is on the card. You know that championship is being defended on that card.
Here's the thing how you change that. You don't allow it doesn't change as often as it did here at house shows.
You make it a workhorse title.
Yeah.
And because of that, you can have a guy that only has like you know, a 3-week reign with it, but he defended it, you know, 15 times during that time. So you could have somebody be like, no, I held that belt for, you know, 35 defenses. And you're just like, wow, okay. And sometimes they're like, I'm actually glad I lost. I get to step away. I don't have to work every single show now.
Dude, when you get a chance, go to Wikipedia, look up Hardcore Championship champions, and then under events, click it so you see how many house shows. It's a lot of house shows it changed hands at.
All right.
A lot.
All right. Yeah, I you know, I'd like to see a belt like that for WWE.
Okay.
Yes.
A little trivia before we move on to something else, and to the final piece of the news. Who has the most reigns as Hardcore Champion, and who has the second most reigns?
Well, I want to say that Hardcore Holly. No, not Hardcore Holly. Crash Holly has the most.
No.
Does he have the longest?
I haven't gotten to the longest yet.
Oh, okay.
He is the second most reigns.
Okay. All right. So I wasn't far off.
No, you weren't. I'll give you one more guess on who you can think it is.
Raven.
Yes, with 27.
Thank you. Yes. I remember that Raven has like a weird like record in WWE that is now going to be like next to impossible to ever break.
Yeah. Okay, who you want to get? Who has the most days as champion?
I want to say it like Mick Foley or something like that.
No. Big Boss Man with 97.
Boss Man. I forget that he was part of, you know, any storylines for a while. He's a forgettable character.
Yep, I'm just trying to see where his that run went. Oh, whoa. No, I think Steve Blackman has him beat. Hold on, this is confusing now. Nope, okay. Steve Blackman is high, but there are people. 97 days, 91 days is Al Snow. He's won his first reign.
Okay.
He had that. Van Dam is 90, and Steve Blackman, it was his fourth reign.
Oh wow.
He had 80. He had 89.
89 total days.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Well,
all right, so let's move on to the last piece of news.
We've got this one last piece of news here. HBO is doing a new documentary about a pro wrestler. And it was actually leaked, if you will, as to that it was finished and ready to go for 2019 by a gentleman by the name of Joseph Shabason. He's the one who did the score for the documentary. And it's the subject matter that is going to pique a lot of people's mind. Like, the last one we got was, Andre the Giant. So, you know, you're going from icon. Who are you going to follow up with on that? How about you follow it up with the guy who's the hottest wrestler on the planet today?
AJ Styles?
Kenny Omega. Wow.
AJ Styles.
Come on.
Yeah.
Kenny turned out a 7-star match.
I know. You know what? It's definitely... That was a surprise on that one.
For me, yeah, it's not so much a surprise that they went in the kind of the opposite direction. Instead of being like, all right, we're going to find another story from the past. They're like, no, what the follow-up is going to be today.
Yeah. So it definitely will be interesting to see what angle they take on. They did kind of mention in the story on Wrestling Inc. about how having the first queer storyline. So that it'll probably focus around the Golden Lovers.
Oh yeah.
Somewhat.
I mean,
but
also, you know, it was filmed and done in 2018. So this has also been a big year in change in Kenny as well.
Yeah. So who knows what we'll see, but it's definitely good to see that they're going outside WWE overall and actually looking at like, okay, in the world of pro wrestling, not in the world of WWE.
Yeah, no.
So,
you know, they
definitely be interesting to see.
You know, the first one they looked at, you know, the world of pro wrestling, who's the biggest person? And they're like, well, it's Andre the Giant. And I think they kind of asked the same question. It's like, who is the biggest person in pro wrestling today? And went, well, Kenny Omega is on the tongues of everyone in pro wrestling right now.
You know who I want to see him do after Kenny Omega?
Who?
The Rock.
Yeah. Rock or Stone Cold?
I'd go with The Rock because he would have more stuff you could talk about outside. You could talk wrestling, but you could also talk his conquering Hollywood.
That's true.
So Austin would be definitely one down the line I'd want to see him do, but The Rock would be the next one.
All right. The Rock is a very interesting person. The problem is, I do feel that he has been, because he's still so much of an open person and constantly working on projects, I think his subject would be better once, you know, the Rock buzz dies down a little bit more.
We'll see.
That's kind of why I think
he's an
Austin
open
would be the
person,
better
but
idea.
he's still kind of quiet on a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he'd still be a good one because you could kind of compare his careers of how he entered wrestling to entered Hollywood and play him off and see how he conquered both.
Yeah, you could also talk about like the darker things about Dwayne Johnson's life.
Yeah.
That way you're not just talking about the, you know, the shiny, the public life. You know, you really do dive into his private life more, and you're just like, this is, you know, this interview with him regarding his private life was done, you know, the week that he was doing this premiere.
Yep. So, but yeah, so Kenny Omega, congratulations on getting that documentary by HBO.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be checking that out when it debuts because I'm interested to see what they're gonna talk, how they're gonna focus that. I still gotta watch the Andre one. I haven't seen that one yet.
I have not seen the Andre one yet.
I'll have to go and find it at some point and watch it because it definitely looked done well, and I definitely want to watch it. Wow, more smoke. All right, is someone burning something in there?
Maybe I'm burning some incense. I like to have the good vibes in the office when I'm recording now.
Oh, because the pure evilness is not there anymore?
Exactly. I've been cleansing the office. Someone recently, you know, stopped by, and she said to me that this office is cleansed now.
Well, when I come back in 2 weeks, I'm making sure I'm
gonna
have to
have
all over
an
again.
exorcism right after. You know that, right?
Oh, I'm gonna make it so that this exorcism doesn't work. I'm gonna rub my naked butt all over everything.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out the episode. Go ahead and close out the show, Tim.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down in the comment section what you thought of today's show, our thoughts about the ratings plummeting with WWE, concussions, Nia Jax just doesn't deserve a job anymmore.
She needs to be retrained.
No, she needs to be let go. Well wishes to about the Dynamite Kid and Larry Hennig.
Larry the Axe Hennig.
Also, yes, and then let us know about your predictions if you think Kota Ibushi can capture the never openweight championship
or will
this weekend.
Retain.
Yes, and then let us know what your thoughts on hearing that Kenny Omega has a documentary coming out on HBO sometime next year. So comment all down below, but before you do that, on your way down, make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Ding.
And ring the bell.
Double ding.
And start your wrestling match with As the Buckle Turns. I don't know, I'm trying to go something off. I don't know. After you do that, just go down and write your comment. But
sounds like a better idea.
Yeah, just do that. But that way you know when all of I cannot think of our name of our this thing.
All of the join the notification squad so you can get all the new content from the 01 podcast group. Tim,
there you go.
It's been a wonderful day, and I'm going to be so glad when this is finished. You have a great week.
It's going to be happy for me so I don't have to look at your face.